The incidents portrayed in this episode of the cybersecurity tapes are fictitious. No identification with any persons, places, companies, or products is intended or should be inferred. Our story begins at a tech conference, where the city of Silverwood Heights is about to be honored for their Smart City initiative.
Oh, wow. That is really loud.
Each year, the City of Tomorrow Expo honors one city for innovation and excellence during their Smart City transformation.
Do you think we're going to sound that loud when we're on stage?
Yeah, probably.
This year, we are proud to award the City of Silverwood Heights as our official
Have you seen this video before?
City of Tomorrow.
It's great.
Oh, wow. No, I had not seen this before.
After an unprecedented population boom,
Wow.
Silverwood Heights quickly earned a spot as one of the
Silverwood
top
Heights
5
looks
fastest
so
growing cities in the country.
Big.
This year, Silverwood Heights also made a few more lists.
Wait, did they just fly a drone down 4th Street to get that shot?
Like top 10 best cities to live and work.
I don't remember pulling a permit for anything like that.
And the #1 smartest little city in the country.
I'll let the permit thing slide this time. This is too good.
Please welcome to the stage
That's your cue.
the mayor of Silverwood Heights,
Break a leg.
the Honorable Evelyn Clark.
Ooh. Here we go. Hello. Hello. Can everyone hear me all right? Thank you so much for that warm welcome. When I was first elected mayor, Silverwood Heights didn't quite look like it does in that video. We were a relatively small but tight-knit community surrounded on all sides by much bigger cities. Inevitably, word got out about this charming little town tucked away in the foothills with great schools and home prices that didn't defy logic. And seemingly overnight, we found ourselves welcoming new neighbors at a rate faster than our DMV could issue IDs. It took some doing, but eventually we caught up. And I'm still the mayor, so that must count for something. But I didn't do it alone. A smart city like Silverwood Heights is only as smart as the technology running it and the people that are smart enough to make that technology work. As my daughters will tell you, I'm not one of those people. But I know someone who is. Please welcome Silverwood Heights Chief Information Officer, Marco Walsh. Marco, I can talk all day about what we did and why we did it, but it's Marco who can speak to how it was done.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Clark. When the mayor asked me to join her on this trip, I said, yes, of course, absolutely. You are literally the mayor. It would be my honor. But then it dawned on me exactly why she asked me to join. You see, for Silverwood Heights to be recognized like this, well, it's a tremendous honor. And fittingly, this honor comes with a super bright spotlight, well, which Mayor Clark deserves to bask in. I guarantee we would not be here without her leadership. Me, on the other hand, and people like me, like many of you, I'm guessing, out there in the audience, the people whose job it is to connect all the wires so that the thing actually does what the mayor tells people it's going to do, we're a little more comfortable standing just a few feet over someplace like, here, on the edge of the spotlight. When you're over here, you get away with saying the tough things they can't say over there in the spotlight. Like, for example, that no part of this smart city project was even remotely easy. That the road from being a small, semi-rural community to a smart city was a long one and bumpy, and along the way we learned a lot of the lessons the hardest way possible.
We learned those lessons the hard way, so you don't have to.
Exactly my point. The mayor's job is empathy and motivation, and she's really good at it. Which is the only reason we got at least one thing right from the very start of this project. After the city voted in favor of the proposal, Mayor Clark's first act was to form a cybersecurity task force. Before the budget was even finalized, she insisted that every step taken from that moment on needed to have a real, tangible benefit on the quality of life for the people living in Silverwood Heights, whether they were at home, at work, in school, or online. She repeated that last one. Especially online, she said.
At the time, I had just had my identity stolen, which I don't recommend to any of you. But I only have myself to blame. I clicked a link I shouldn't have.
You were a victim of a crime. You are not to blame. But yes, it was kind of her fault. Show me an empathetic person and I'll show you someone who trusts people too much.
Guilty as charged.
Don't get me wrong. Trusting people and to be trustworthy is wonderful. That's the cornerstone of being a good citizen. But when it comes to cybersecurity, trust could be your downfall. The cornerstone of being a good cybersecurity team is exactly the opposite. Zero trust. Simply put, we employ the principles of never trust, always verify. Once we can verify that you are who you say you are, then we can talk about trust. Things like multi-factor authentication can be annoying, but that's just the price we all have to pay now in order to protect our data.
New unexpected hoops to jump through for something you've done 1,000 times before can seriously disrupt your daily routine. But the fact of the matter is that our public lives are really public now. It's all out there. When I first researched the list of devices and software outlined in the Smart City proposal, all I could think about was how I'd react if I were just your regular Silverwood Heights resident going about my day. Suddenly, there are traffic cameras mounted at every major intersection, apps to download, accounts to create, text fields with that little red asterisk by it requiring you to enter in your name, your address, birth date, phone number.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mayor, but I think you're doing my part. Your part is to say things like, since we implemented smart scheduling, going to the DMV isn't the nightmare it once was. Those traffic cameras, they are interconnected. That gives the city a real-time view of what's actually going on out there and minimizes emergency response times. I'm the one that's supposed to be dragging the conversation down into the little red asterisk territory, which reminds me, I've been meaning to ask you, what was the name of your first pet?
The Silverwood Heights DMV is actually pretty great now. We also got new chairs for the waiting area. They're not smart, just way more comfortable, which is, and I will fight Marco on this, smart.
From the onset, Mayor Clark insisted we make cybersecurity the foundation on which the new Silverwood Heights would be built. And my team was pretty green, so step number one was finding someone who could guide us through the process. For us, for me especially, that person was Maria, a cybersecurity consultant that had the experience I didn't, but I desperately needed. My advice, if you're building a smart city, get yourself a Maria. After a thorough assessment of our security posture, the first thing she did was to create and implement our IRR plan. Quick show of hands, does everyone know what an IRR plan is? Mayor Clark?
Incident Response and Recovery Plan. Maria and I still keep in touch, you know. She's fantastic.
Boiled down, the IRR plan outlines our process to detect a potential cyber attack, what our immediate response will be after an attack, and how to repair or recover any lost or compromised data as quickly as possible. Detect, respond, recover. For this project, the one thing we knew for sure was that very soon we were going to have a whole lot of brand new IoT devices like traffic cameras and smart lights. Tap into the city's primary network. So my team's first major milestone was to implement safeguards at the network edge to authenticate users and manage their access to the main network. This approach allowed us to isolate different network segments, enhance data integrity, reduce the risk of unauthorized access, and ensure more efficient management of network resources.
Okay, Marco.
Oh boy, did I just start teching out about network segmentation again?
If I may take that spotlight back for just a moment. As mayor, you learn a few things about what drives people. The first thing is that most people don't care about tech stacks. At all. Not even a little. People just want the thing to work. Full stop. Which leads to my next observation about all people. Everyone hates it when their daily routine is upended. Even minor, seemingly benign disruptions can wind up as a protest on the steps outside my office, which is a bad look for a mayor. Whenever I think about this, I'm reminded of a man who has lived his whole life in Silverwood Heights, which isn't uncommon. Come visit once and you'll understand real quick why people stick around. But one day, this poor man shows up at a city council meeting for the first time ever with a doozy of a story that, despite not being anything more than an annoyance, was painfully relatable. I dare you not to empathize with him.
We appreciate everyone joining today. The goal for this session is to come together as a community and assess the ongoing Smart City project. I noticed one gentleman, you sir, out in the lobby long before these doors were open. I'm guessing this is your name at the top of the speaker list. We're all excited to hear what you have been waiting to say. Let's get started. The council recognizes Mr. Edgar Galloway to the podium. Mr. Galloway.
79 years I have lived in Silverwood Heights. Easy math because I was born in Silverwood Heights 79 years ago, on a farm not far up the road. Nothing big, a few dozen acres. Beautiful. At least it was before that infernal toll road cut through, but I'm not here to grumble about that. That's progress. That's the city's business, not mine. Heck, I even voted for that wacky smart city scheme when it showed up on the ballot, however many years ago that was. I may be stuck down in my old dumb ways, but I'm not fool enough to turn my nose up at progress. I love Silverwood Heights. I want the best for my neighbors. I certainly didn't think I'd ever have it in me to leave. That was until Tuesday of last week. Damn near packed my bags that night. It was election day. Excellent weather. And I had just jumped in the car to head down to my polling place. I've always been a big softy for civic duty since my days in the service, which, by the way, were the only years I've ever lived outside the city limits of Silverwood Heights. And, heck, I lost my train of thought. Yes, I take voting very seriously. I've cast a ballot in every local election since the one my wife and I missed when we were on our honeymoon. Well, last Tuesday came this close to being the second election I ever missed. And it was for circumstances that are, and I don't say this lightly, unacceptable. I got a horn too, buddy. You. Yes, you. Roll down your window.
Are you okay? Are you having, like, shortness of breath or something? Should I call a doctor?
What? No. Well, now maybe, but that's because of you. I just want to know if you can see anything up there. I can't see a thing.
I can't see anything either. Maybe the drawbridge is stuck?
I'm stuck, you're stuck, the whole town is stuck. Just let me vote.
Oh, hey, turn on your radio. They're making an announcement about it.
Authorities are asking non-essential traffic to stay off the downtown roadways while city managers work to restore service to the city's smart transportation network after a disruption occurred during a routine security update.
Smart city. Ugh.
We do not yet know how long the
Might as well get comfortable. Where do you think you're going? Didn't you get the memo? Bad day to have an emergency. I hope no one is hurt.
The irony was that what caused the disruption that morning was an effort by the city to actually improve transportation safety. It was just incredibly poor timing.
Hard lesson learned, part 1. Security patches are an essential and unavoidable fact of life, and they need to be done promptly, and they need to be done right. Doing this allows you to protect sensitive data, maintain operational integrity, and safeguard user privacy. What they don't need to be is scheduled in the middle of the morning on Election Day. Smart technology has the power to use its smarts for good, but the flip side is that hackers can potentially use that same technology for evil. Anything connected to a network opens up potential vulnerabilities that, if exploited, could impact economic security, public health and safety, and critical infrastructure operations. Neglecting these updates can lead to severe consequences, including data breaches, financial loss, and reputational damage.
Or expose someone's private data. It all leads to an erosion of the people's trust and, worst of all, causes disruptions to daily routines. This wasn't the end of Edgar's story. Oh no, his bad day wasn't over yet.
Data security is even more important in the era of AI. As the use of digitization, cloud computing, AI, and other emerging technologies fuel the growth of data, the need for advanced security measures becomes even more pressing. The heightened need for security is further amplified by the increased global emphasis on privacy regulations and the severe penalties for breaches, highlighting the unparalleled value of data amid rising security risks. Built in at the silicon level, AMD Infinity Guard offers the advanced capabilities required to defend against international and external threats and help keep your data safe.
"53 minutes, Millie. I timed it. Didn't move an inch for 53 minutes.
I really will never understand why you don't vote early.
I reserve my right as a citizen of Silverwood Heights to change my mind wherever nonsense like this points out a good reason for me to do so.
Well, you're out of that mess now, aren't you? And the sky didn't fall.
It didn't fall, no, but Millie, I'm telling you, that thing's gonna fall one of these days, and when it does, you better believe you're gonna get a big old... What's this? Things may be turning around, Millie. Just spotted the perfect little parking spot right out in front of the polling place.
Did they remember to roll out the red carpet this time?
They forgot. Seems there was one good thing about this whole fiasco. It scared people away. Okay, I should be home soon. Love you, hon.
I love you too. Don't forget to pick up your medication.
What's a parking meter cost these days? Probably an arm and a leg. And here we go. Hopefully I can still park for, let's see, 80 cents. Gotta be a half an hour at least. What is this thing? Where did this come from? What was wrong with the old parking meters? Suppose they weren't smart enough. This one probably makes lattes, too. Now, coin slot or no, I'm going to shove these somewhere, that's for sure. Ah, I see. I was right. This contraption is too smart. Seems to be a pattern. Credit card it is, but I don't like it. Oh, for crying out loud. This is... Is someone pulling a prank on me? Excuse me, I am so sorry to bother you.
I'm sorry, what? Are you talking to me? Oh, don't worry about him. He doesn't bite.
Do you know where they keep the little credit
Chuffers.
card? What's it,
Down.
the thing to swipe a credit card?
Down, Chuffers.
This one doesn't seem to have a place for coins.
I've got some bad news for you, and then some worse news. The bad news is parking meters don't take coins anymore. None of them do.
That's absurd.
And this one in particular looks like one of the even newer ones that doesn't even have a place to run a card.
How are we supposed to pay to park?
Oh, you don't have the app, do you?
I have an app. I'm not sure it's the app, though.
I got you. I'll pay for you this time.
No, that's not... How'd you do that?
Can I see your phone? Thanks. I'll pull it up in your app store. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it. They did a pretty poor job spreading the word. There it is, the Silverwood Metro app. When you get to a good spot, just download that app, and then it'll walk you through how to set up an account.
Suppose I gotta put all my bank information in there as well, huh? I don't care much for that, but still, thank you. I hope I can return your kindness someday.
Sure thing. Oh, and if you haven't already, vote.
That's what I've been trying to do. I just keep getting outsmarted by all this smart junk. I am starting to think this town has it out for me.
I promise, no one's out to get anyone.
Except those Wildcats this Friday against Westville High. Let's hear it for those Silver Sharks.
Smart parking meters offer a lot more convenience than I think people give them credit for, but it's easy to forget about the benefits of something when all you got the first time was frustration. Also, people generally seem to romanticize the simpler times when all you needed was 4 wheels and 80 cents. So forget about what these smart meters do for people in their daily lives. What do they do for their data? Parking meters are just about as far out on the edge of the network as you can get. And it's not just one parking meter. It could be hundreds, potentially thousands of these connected devices, with as many people behind the wheel willing to fork over personal and financial account info into a machine that's right out there in the open, 24 hours a day. Suddenly, our attack surface, the number of network access points for a hacker to exploit, skyrockets. Now, those specific meters in that story were in fact on a short trial run, and without any real formal plan to educate people about what they were or how to use them. Hard lesson part 2. But the concept is the same. As long as someone goes through the steps to authenticate their identity when they use a city service, their private data immediately becomes more secure. Plus, the risk of a hacker using a remote smart device like a parking meter to gain access to our main network, which I don't think I have to tell any of you would be bad, is greatly reduced. Evelyn, mind if I tech out on network segmentation again?
Yes, but proceed.
A zero-trust approach really requires connected communities to segment their networks, to literally silo specific data sets into separate networks, each with its own security protocols, so that access to one doesn't mean access to all. Would now be a good time to pull up the PowerPoint with a diagram of Silverwood Heights network architecture?
Let's put it to a vote. All in favor of pulling up a PowerPoint with a diagram of Silverwood Heights network architecture? All in favor of hearing the rest of Edgar's story? The people have spoken.
Hello and welcome. It's, Edgar, right?
How did you know my name? I am being pranked, aren't I? I knew it.
Oh my goodness, no. I'm Magnolia. I don't want to offend, but are you doing all right? You seem a little, I don't know, frazzled.
Why does everyone keep asking me that? I'm fine. I only came in to vote, same as last time and the time before that. Hey, why isn't anybody actually voting in here? All these people in line? Why is no one at any of the machines?
I was just about to get to that.
This line hasn't moved in 16 minutes.
Magnolia, I only just met you and you seem like a very nice person with good intentions, but I am about to lose my cool.
Sir, I apologize for the situation.
The situation?
Have you ever heard the expression, one bad apple spoils the batch? We had one machine go down because of some suspicious online behavior.
Which machine? I'll use a different one.
All of them. It locked down all of our machines.
For how long?
I unfortunately don't have that information. Probably not long. 20, 30 minutes?
So what now? I'm not waiting anymore, not today. How am I supposed to vote?
We're told this is the only polling place that's offline. If you really don't want to wait, you could go try another one. Do you have the Metro app?
Steam was just about to come whistling out of Edgar's ears when, almost miraculously, the clouds parted and the machines came back online. The whole ordeal only lasted about 20 minutes.
Our systems are designed to detect and identify any potential security threat before they have a chance to spread and become a larger issue. On that day, it picked up an abnormality in one of the machines that must have been suspicious enough to take the entire voting location offline, so that the local network was segmented and isolated from the other networks. This swift action, as annoying as it may have been for the people waiting in line to vote, allowed technicians to investigate and identify the root cause of the problem.
And, ultimately, protect the integrity of the election results.
Thankfully, it turned out to be just one faulty machine. But let's play out the alternative, because no matter how strong your security posture is, it's only a matter of time before an attack occurs. This whole story highlights the critical need to have a robust response and recovery plan in place before you need to put it into practice. A good IRR plan, and again, there are partners out there that can help you put one in place. I have Maria's number if you want to meet me later out in the lobby. It's like a blueprint for what to do in the immediate moments following a cyber attack. But that's just the first step. If our data had been infected with malware or stolen for ransom or any number of other possible cyber threats lurking out there in the shadows right now, how do we recover that data and get our operations back to normal as quickly as possible?
Protecting everyone in a community means protecting their data.
I couldn't agree more. Even though we didn't need it this time, in those first moments, I was thanking my lucky stars we had a digital data vault in place. All the city's data is automatically backed up and tested regularly to ensure it can be used to get us back up and running as efficiently and securely as possible. Felt good we didn't need to pull out the IRR playbook that day, but it felt even better that we had one in place and that we were ready if things had turned out differently.
It also validated that all the decisions we made on this wild journey to become, what was it? The smartest little city in the country? That they were the best decisions we could have made. So, for sharing his story and inspiring me to be a better mayor, I'd like to dedicate this award to Edgar. And here to accept this award, via Zoom, because he doesn't like leaving his house if he doesn't have to, please welcome Silverwood Heights' own Edgar Galloway.
Millie, did you do something to the wait? Oh, no, don't come in here now. I'm on with the mayor, I think. Hello? Mayor Clark?
Mr. Galloway, how are things back in Silverwood Heights?
Just fine. Can't complain.
I just finished telling everyone here your story.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't have. We all have bad days from time to time.
So you're not still considering leaving Silverwood Heights?
Leave home? Are you kidding? Never. I just need a little extra time to catch up.
Well, are you all caught up now?
Oh, yes. Check this out. My Silverwood Metro app. I have a doctor appointment tomorrow.
Dentist? It's a dentist appointment.
A dentist appointment, yes, but there's some minor surgery involved.
I thought you said it was routine.
Routine can be serious, and it's downtown. Mayor Clark, look, I reserved a parking spot and paid for it already. This little tab here shows me all the expected delays. Nothing listed now, but I'll check it again before I leave.
Please do, Edgar. Please do.
The Cybersecurity Tapes, The City of Tomorrow, was produced by Dell Technologies and AMD. The executive producers were Steve Keniston and Samir Shah. It was written by Steve Keniston, Samir Shah, and Max Robidoux, with additional writing by Bradley Parrott and Mike Wiebe. Directed by Bradley Parrott. Featuring performances by Mike McCrae, Mandy Rubio, Tim Heller, and Mike Wiebe. Sound design by Andy Slater. If you enjoyed this episode of the Cybersecurity Tapes, please like, subscribe, and leave us a review, or visit thecybersecuritytapes.com to learn more.